What's up, guys? You're watching Infinitdee TV, and today we are going to be in the kitchen making one of my all-time favorites, zucchini parmesan crusted chicken. In terms of ingredients, you're going to want some freshly grated Parmesan cheese, some extra virgin olive oil, garlic salt, pepper flakes, salt, some black pepper, and butter. You can use any type of butter, does not matter what it is. In terms of tools, you are going to need a grater, a 1/4 teaspoon measuring spoon, a bowl, fork, peeler, a knife, and another knife. Yes. In terms of produce, you're going to need asparagus, a zucchini, and some golden potatoes. In terms of poultry, get yourself 2 large chicken breasts. Make sure they are thawed ahead of time and have been out for at least 15-20 minutes prior to cooking. Start off by peeling those potatoes. You want to make sure that majority of the skin is off. They don't need to be perfect. Next, cut those potatoes into cubes. I usually cut them into 4s or 6s per slice. This will ultimately speed up the cooking time and make it easier to mash. Get yourself a medium pot, fill it with water, and place it on the stove. Add a pinch of salt and bring that to a boil. Set your oven temp to 400 and your burner to high. I like to get things out a bit faster. It's completely up to you if you want to bring it down lower. Once that water is boiling, add your potatoes to the pot. I know some individuals are afraid the water may splash up when adding them in, so this is a cool trick that I've picked up along the way to make sure I don't personally burn myself. Grab your zucchini and cut the tops and bottoms off. We can dispose of this as we are not going to be needing either for today's recipe. Get yourself a napkin. This is going to be used to catch the grated zucchini. As you can see, I'm using 2 sheets. I have a cheaper brand, so if I don't double up, the sheets are more likely to rip when we drain the liquid. Go ahead and grate that entire zucchini. You want to make sure you get it all. This will be the topping for the chicken, and the more, the better. I usually grate mine until my fingers are nearly cut off. When you are all done, fold the napkins around the grated zucchini pile. It should have an old-fashioned ice pack look when holding it. Give the zucchini a nice firm squeeze and drain out all of its liquid. The trick here is to get as much out as possible to avoid a mess when placing it on top of the chicken. Add your grated zucchini into a bowl and try to get as much of it off the napkin as you possibly can. I know it can be tough sometimes, but do your best. You know, it doesn't have to be perfect. Add about a teaspoon of chili flakes to the grated zucchini. I personally enjoy mine with a little bit more of a kick than others, so I'm going to add in a little bit more. Feel free to add in as much as you'd like. You can even choose to skip this step and just add a pinch of black pepper. The recipe calls for a teaspoon. Next, we're going to add in some cheese. The recipe calls for a 1/4 cup. However, I absolutely love cheese and am going to eye this until my heart is happy. The cheese is really going to help form a golden crust when we broil it, so feel free to experiment. I'm adding a pinch of salt and black pepper to top things off. Give that a nice stir And congratulations, you have successfully completed the topping for our chicken breasts. Next, we are going to get our asparagus going. I normally cut a bundle in half and use the bottom for other dishes. You can actually cut them into smaller pieces and mix them in with pastas, stir fries, or even salads. Grab yourself a baking pan or baking sheet and line the bottom with tin foil. This will ultimately eliminate the need to wash additional dishes. Once you are done, add the asparagus to the pan and drizzle some extra virgin olive oil on top. Give it a quick toss to coat. You want to make sure that they are evenly coated to form a nice crust when baking. I'm going to top them off with some black pepper and some garlic salt. I like to add a semi-generous amount to mine. I do like a lot of flavor, so feel free to add in as much or as little as you'd like. At this point, your potatoes should be done cooking. You want to make sure you drain that excess water out and dump those into a bowl. Get a generous amount of butter in there. Top that off with some black pepper. Do a generous amount, not too much, because it's really tough to remove black pepper and salt from mashed potatoes. It's one of those things where you can mess it up very, very easily if you don't take it slow. If you have a mixer, just turn that bad boy on and get to mixing. If you don't, you're gonna have to do it the old-fashioned way. I do not envy you. The most important bit of advice that I can give you here is to always, always, always try your food. If you need a little bit more garlic salt, if you need a little bit more pepper, whatever it may be, try it. If you don't like it, other people won't like it. Next up, we're going to get this chicken ready and prepared for our topping. You want to make sure that you cut it straight down the center. We're going to fillet it. So what I like to do is rest my hand on top and just cut ever so gently right down the center. And we're also going to trim off the fatty edges, the pieces that you really don't want caught up in your mouth when you're enjoying a phenomenal dish such as this one. Grab yourself a baking sheet or pan, preferably a pan, and line it with tin foil. Again, this is going to decrease the amount of dishes and mess once it's done cooking. You're going to want to lay this chicken down flat as such. From here, we just want to give it a nice little pinch of black pepper, not too much here. We're just trying to get a little extra oomph to the dish. You want to evenly spread out our zucchini mixture on top of those breasts. Try to cover them up as best as possible. And that's it. So just to recap, we have our asparagus on our baking sheet, our chicken laid out on our baking pan, and our mashed potatoes, which have been completed. It's okay. We are actually going to throw these in the oven under warm to bring them back up to heat. They do tend to get cold really quickly. First, we're going to add in our asparagus on the very bottom rack, and then follow that up with our chicken on the middle rack. And you're going to want to bake that for about 12 or 15 minutes. All depends on your oven. Some are hotter, some are colder. Only you're going to know, and you're going to need to experiment. Once the timer's up, make sure that you turn your oven to broil mode. This is going to give the chicken its crust, its crisp. Remove that asparagus, and this is really what it should look like. It's got these beautiful charred tips which really enhance the flavor. Once your chicken is done, you're going to want to pull that right out of the oven. This is what it should look like. As you can see, it's just absolutely gorgeous. Make sure that you turn your oven to warm and keep the oven door open. That way it just kind of drains the heat out a little bit faster. What we're going to do is we're going to add the potatoes and asparagus back in to make sure that everything's being served warm. All right, so this is what the meal should look like on your plate. It looks amazing and it tastes just as good as it looks. We are going to cut in. I'm going to show you how juicy this came out. Absolutely amazing. It's like a work of art. Look at that shine. All right, so I'm going to try the chicken first. Fingers crossed. It looked very juicy. But let's see for sure. Bon appetit. Oh my Lord. Oh Jesus. Oh, that came out amazing. Wow. It's got a little bit of a kick to it, which I like. It's not too overpowering. The black pepper's coming through. Not too much from the red pepper flakes, which is good because if you have too much of that, it just overpowers the whole dish and all you taste is spice and it ruins everything else on the plate, to be honest. I'm gonna take another bite just to double check. Here we go. Oh my God. That crust is so good. All right, next up we have the asparagus. This is one of my favorite things. I make this with everything. Here we go. Those slightly burnt tips. I never get sick of that. But man, what a different flavor profile you get when you overcook the asparagus just a little bit. Completely different. Life-changing. If you haven't done it yet, try it. Baked asparagus is the way to go in my mind, and we love it here. Final thing we're going to try are the mashed potatoes. Here we go. My signature. Maybe one day I will give you my recipe. I mean, you pretty much saw what I did, but I eyed it. I am known for these. So if I give you the recipe, something may be wrong. Okay? Because this needs to get passed down to somebody. All right? Golden potatoes. Gotta use them when you're making mashed potatoes. Russet just doesn't do the trick. You get the sweetness. That garlic's really coming through. It's really nice. All right. Grand finale here. We're going to do a bite of everything together. Here we go. We got the chicken. We'll do a piece of asparagus. We won't get carried away here. And we will do a little bit of mashed potatoes. There we go. Oh my God. Wow. I love this dish. I will never get tired of it. It's very healthy, minus potatoes, but don't go crazy with the mashed potatoes, people. All right. Other than that, I think that's going to do it for today's episode. If you haven't done so already, smash that subscribe button down below. Give the video a thumbs up if you enjoyed the content. Share it with your friends. Let them all know that we're out here cooking magic in this kitchen. Take care. Be safe.
Deuces!